What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Ben on Sports. Today, I have for you the Week 5 preview, Week 4 review for the Road to 200 picks. Um, just as you can always expect it, coming out on a Wednesday. So, without further ado, let's hop into it. Thursday night football last week was the Cardinals and the Seahawks, and the Cardinals almost came all the way back at home, but the Seahawks still won 23-20. Interesting game. The Seahawks look like they're cooking, and again, this division seems as though it might be one of the best, if not the best, in football. Who did I have to win this game? I did have the Seahawks starting off 1-0. Steelers and Vikings in Dublin, the NFL's first game in Dublin. Steelers got up big, forced some turnovers, and then the Vikings did what the Vikings seem like they like to do and almost came all the way back from a big deficit in the fourth quarter. Just had a bad drive, in my opinion, bad play calling, just a lot of bad on that last drive for the Vikings when they had a chance and all they needed was a field goal. They were practically at midfield and they couldn't quite get there. So the Steelers take the win. Who did I pick? I did pick the Vikings. On to the next game. Giants and Chargers. Probably one of the biggest upsets of the season. Definitely probably the biggest of the week. Giants upsetting the Chargers at home in Jackson Dart's first career playoff, or not playoff, way out of myself there. First career appearance against a pretty good defense. The Chargers definitely, you can tell, are struggling with some injuries on that offensive line. Only scoring 18 points against the Giants defense. It hasn't been bad, but definitely hasn't been great either. And yeah, a game the Chargers probably would have liked to won and probably should have won, especially because it would have continued to give them distance in their division. They lose to a rookie quarterback making his first start, scoring his first NFL touchdown with a run. And who did I pick to win? I think like mostly everybody else, I did have the Chargers winning this. I fall below 500. Texans and Titans, not much to say about this one. The Texans defense is one of the very best in the NFL, and it showed against a rookie quarterback. And the Texans were a little bit slow to get going offensively, but by the second half, I think they had worn the Titans defense out, and they ended up winning this one handedly to get their first win of the season. Texans over the Titans. Who did I pick? I did pick the Texans. Continuing on, the Falcons and the Commanders. Commanders starting a backup quarterback. Were in the game. The defense just felt like it couldn't get one last big stop to allow the offense to tie it up. And the Falcons win, putting up 34 at home, rebounding from a very ugly game against the Carolina Panthers to get their second win of the season. Commanders now falling to 2-2, but it sounds like Jayden Daniels is on the mend. Who did I pick to win this? I did pick the Commanders. Another loss, not off to a great start this week. The Bills and the Saints 31-19, and it's very rare that winning by 12 points does not cover the spread in an NFL game, but it did not in this one. It was close for much of it. The Saints shot themselves in the foot a couple times. Josh Allen finally threw an interception for the first time in forever in this one. Bills ended up getting a little bit of distance at the end at home, but this game was close, and the Bills were on upset alert for most of it. They still found their way to a win, and that's good because I picked the Bills, much like most people probably did. The Buccaneers and the Eagles, I said the Bucs could probably keep this one really close, and it'll be an interesting game. And there was times where it really wasn't that close, but the Bucs had the ball with a chance to, if not win, tie or take the lead, and couldn't quite do it, so the Eagles got the win on the road to stay undefeated. Eagles still looking good. I still don't think their defense is quite as dominant as it was last year, but there's still time. This Eagles team has not lost a game in over a year where Jalen Hurts plays the entire way through. What does that say about how good this team is? Who did I pick? I did pick the Eagles. Moving on, the Lions and the Browns. Again, Browns defense was good early. They are a really good defense. They kept them in it, but the Browns just couldn't quite score or do much offensively. And when you can't do that, eventually even the best defenses get worn out. And by the time the late first half, early second half rolled around, the Lions were able to score and really put some separation at home. Lions picking up the win, just like I thought they would. Patriots and Panthers. This Panthers go down the field and score on their first drive, and then not much went their way after that. Patriots with an absolute shellacking of the Panthers, 42-13. Drake May continues to look fantastic for that team. The defense, I think, is only going to get better the more and more time they have under Vrabel. Obviously, they were also had some injuries around that defense. They're getting healthier. They have Christian Gonzalez back, who's been really, really good young corner for the Patriots when healthy. They win this game 42-13 and get back to 500. Who did I have winning this game? I did have the Patriots. 49ers and Jaguars. And man, the Jaguars didn't really want to win this game. They were up kind of big. But the 49ers didn't want to win it more. They kept turning the ball over, 4 turnovers. Jacksonville's very good at producing them. And it ended up being too much to overcome for the 49ers. And the Jaguars hold on for the 5-point victory. San Francisco losing a game they probably feel like they shouldn't have. They feel like they probably feel as though they should be undefeated, and they are not. Who did I have winning this game? I did have the 49ers. The Rams and the Colts, 3-0 on the road, looking to stay undefeated. They had the lead in most of the game. Now, it was always close. It was never more than one possession, I don't think. But the Colts were in the lead most of the game, and then the Rams score late to tie it up. They get the ball back and then hit, a 77-yard touchdown to Tutu Atwell. They score 2 touchdowns in like 2 minutes. And late in the fourth quarter, and the Rams win this one at home 27-20. Who did I have winning this game? I did have the Rams. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I admit, I didn't foresee Lamar Jackson getting hurt. There's a lot I didn't foresee, but this Chiefs offense looked like they finally got it going. This Chiefs defense is starting to play a little bit better, still struggling a little bit against the run, still playing well against the pass. And even before Lamar Jackson got hurt, this Ravens offense looked absolutely pitiful. I don't know what's going on with the Ravens, but the defense isn't defensing. The offense isn't great. And the Ravens get blown out by the Chiefs to fall to 1-3 on the season. Chiefs get back to 500 after a rough start to the season. Who did I have winning this game? I did think the Ravens were going to win because I thought they were going to be able to run the ball against the Chiefs. That was not the case. Raiders and Bears, and what was a close game throughout. You could argue the Bears should have won by more with all the turnovers. But the Raiders were able to keep it close. They had a chance to win late. They had a field goal opportunity to win the game as time expired. And as we've seen more times early on in the year than I feel like we normally see an entire year, for whatever reason, special teams are crazy this season. The Bears blocked the field goal to win the game. I'm still not very high on either of these teams, but I thought the Raiders had looked good enough and we're going to be a veteran enough team to win this game at home, meaning I got this one wrong. Wish that field goal wouldn't have been blocked so I had a chance. But, field goal blocks apparently are increasingly common in the NFL this season. Solid win by the Bears to pick up win number 2. When I don't pick the Bears, they win. When I do pick them, they lose. I don't know how to trust this team. I don't know how good I think they actually are, if at all. The Cowboys and Packers finish with a 40-40 tie. The fact that ties are a thing in the NFL is ridiculous. Can I firstly, I need to say that I think the NFL needs to have a better system. They need to do something because this is an American football. There should be no ties. It's ridiculous. This was an all-time game the entire way through. It was high scoring. There was great plays on both sides, and then ending it in a tie just felt so disrespectful, especially in a primetime game with a superstar player having a massive storyline. Just so much. And then I felt like the entire thing fell flat the minute this ended in a tie. I hate ties, just in case you guys didn't know. And yeah, I guess you can't do anything about it, but there needs to be some rule changes. This one ends in a tie. I don't know how to do that. I haven't had a tie doing this series before. I'm just going to leave it as a tie, I guess. But like, what am I? Well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. The Packers defense really needs to play better. This was not a good game for them. The Cowboys do have the number one offense in the league, but they also have the worst defense. So if you just have to get, in theory, a couple stops and you're okay. Packers defense was not able to do it, and now I'm starting to worry about them after they looked pretty darn good through 2 weeks of the season. Monday Night Football, the doubleheader. Dolphins picking up a 27-21 win over the Jets in their new uniforms. Obviously, the big story out of this game, and I meant to mention this with another team early on, Tyreek Hill, a Hall of Fame player, going out with a very serious injury. That could be career-changing for him. They say he wants to be back with 2026. I'll be interested to see if the Dolphins keep him in his contract, if they come to a new agreement, if they just cut him and he goes somewhere. Who knows where Tyreek Hill could be playing. Obviously, that sucks for the Dolphins. And their offense, while they scored on the drive that he got hurt, they only scored a field goal, I think, in what was 3 possessions after that. So this offense is going to need to figure out how to live on without him. The Jets, way too many penalties. People need to stop complaining about the refs. Did they make some things that were not in the favor of the Jets? Yes, but I also watch all of these games, and some of them I go back and watch, and at least the close ones. If it's a blowout, I don't think really you can really blame the officials for that. And I saw some things that the Jets got away with. I just think this was a poor officiating performance for both teams with little consistency. So all the Jets fans can shut up. You guys aren't going to be good this year anyway. Why don't you just accept the fact you're heading for a top 5 pick and be happy about it? Again, but Dolphins, for a team that won the turnover battle 3-0, probably should have won this game by more than 6. It doesn't instill confidence in the Miami Dolphins to me. At least like from them like potentially getting their season turned around like they say is the goal. Tyreek Hill's hurt. For them, I don't know. They picked up this win, which was big. They introduced the new uniforms well. But yeah, not the most confidence instilling performance, in my opinion, if you are Miami. And we all already knew the Jets were bad. Who did I pick to win this? I did pick the Dolphins. And the Broncos 28-3. I don't know if the Bengals offense could have done anything this game for the most part. The Broncos just smothered them on defense. They did enough on offense against a not so great defense. Broncos just win big at home to end the week. I'm not sure if anybody is necessarily surprised. Jake Browning, 2 seasons ago, had a really, really good season backing up Joe Burrow and had some big wins and kept them in the playoff hunt. This year, not so much. The Bengals need to figure out something if they want Joe Burrow to come back with something to play for. Otherwise, you might as well shut him down. This Broncos team is still very interesting to me. That defense is still very good. Can it continue to be very good? And what does this offense look like against elite defenses is still going to be my biggest question. Who did I pick? Did you really think I was going to pick anybody but the Broncos at home against the backup quarterback? Gosh, no. Where does that bring me this week? With a record of 9-6-1, the worst week to date. And guys, it is not looking good if I'm going to hit that 204 win mark. I have to hit 204 wins, and this week was a big dent. I lost a lot of close games. I told you last week I almost picked the Steelers. I went with the Vikings, and then the Vikings narrowly lose. The Raiders lose on a blocked field goal. The Packers tie a team that they should have beat, right? Or they lose a tied game where they didn't even give themselves a chance to win in overtime. That was ridiculous. The Chargers lose a close game, right? Just a little bit of bad luck, just unforeseen things happening, and which I guess is the case every week, right? But it's just like last week when I went 10-6, there wasn't really a whole lot. I'm like, okay, well, I just was wrong, right? But this week, man, it was so many close things, 1 or 2 plays here or there. And now 9-6-1. Remember last year, guys, if you were here watching and listening, I got off to a slow start. And I think it's because the more information you have, the better you're going to be regardless. And you have the least amount of information the first 4 to 6 weeks of the season. As you gain and gather information, you get better and better, and you can be more accurate, and you know what to look out for. Hopefully, I have enough information this week. I desperately need a good week. There is 4 teams on a bye week, which means instead of 16 games, there is 14 games, and I need to win 12 of them. I need to get back on track. That 204 win mark is lofty, and I need to get on a hot streak, and I need to do it soon, and I need to finish the season well. It's just sometimes it's hard at the beginning. I was looking good through 2 weeks. I was only 1 game off the pace, and now I'm significantly more off the pace. Let me know in the comments how you guys did this week. Let me know if you think I can recover and still hit the goal of 204 and 78. Of course, it would be 204, 77, and 1 now with that tie. But guys, look, there's 14 weeks left in the season. I got plenty of time to turn around. So again, in the comments, let me know if you think I will turn it around. And also put down your picks from last week. Let me know how you did. Let me know if some of these upsets threw you guys off. And last but not least, put your picks for this week. Either do it now or wait until the end, or even put them in different comments or run them together in the same comment as I go over it, because you guys know that what's next is me picking and talking about all of the week 5 games. First game of the week, Thursday Night Football. Last week was an all NFC West matchup. This week, the other 2 teams in the division are playing. It's a top 5 game of the week. 2 3-1 teams from Inglewood at SoFi Stadium. The Rams 6.5 point favorites. Let's get into the keys to the game. If you're the Rams, Puka Nacua has been the best wide receiver in the NFL this season. You find that man early and you find him often. Make them take away Puka. It opens up the game for somebody like Davante Adams, who's still a pretty good wide receiver and can open up your run game. Make Brock Purdy beat you. Sometimes Brock Purdy can, but sometimes he lays an egg. Last week was not great for the offense. I don't think it was particularly great for Brock Purdy. And it cost the 49ers the game, turning the ball over 4 times. You don't want to let Christian McCaffrey run wild and be the guy that can beat you by himself, so make Purdy be that guy. And last but not least, do what the Jaguars did. Create turnovers, especially against an offense that's been inconsistent at times this year, even in some other games, not just last week. It's kind of been the couple hot possessions, a couple cold possessions. If this offense for the 49ers is going to be inconsistent, the Rams need to take advantage. And if you are the 49ers, find the run game, make the Rams respect the run game. The 49ers run game hasn't been very good this season, which is crazy when you think about some of the guys they have that can run the ball. They need to get the run game going, especially because they're dealing with so many injuries at the wide receiver position, and they don't have George Kittle. Find that run game, make the Rams stop it, opens it up for Brock Purdy. And also, point 2, use play action. That's when the 49ers are at their best. When they're running the ball first, they're using play action. They're using that inventive run scheme of Kyle Shanahan, and they need to continue to do that. Find a way to do it better than they have in the first month of the season this week against the Rams, and continue to have a stout pass defense, and take away the Rams' pass offense. The 49ers defense has been very good against the pass. It needs to continue to be good against the pass. Matthew Stafford can beat you, especially when he heats up. You know you have Puka Nacua, who's been on fire this season. They have Davante Adams out there. Those 2 alone can wreak havoc. Continue to have that stout pass defense. Who do I think wins this game? I do think the Rams win it. They're at home on Thursday Night Football. And I think they're just healthier than the 49ers. I think health is sometimes just as important as talent. And I also think the Rams are probably just the better team right now, even when they are healthy. Give me the Rams to win this one. Another international game this week at Tottenham's Stadium in London. Minnesota 3.5 point favorites over the Cleveland Browns in a low-scoring affair. The Vikings or predicted to be a low-scoring affair, I should say. That total is only at 35.5. Vikings desperately need a rebound from a close and frustrating loss last week to the Steelers. Can they beat this Browns team that, by the way, is starting a rookie quarterback making his first NFL start? by the name of Dylan Gabriel. Let's get into it. Keys to the game. Make Wentz turn the ball over. How did the Steelers win? Well, they got turnovers. Not all of them were Wentz's fault, but a couple of them were. Make Wentz turn the ball over and help your offense set them up in plus territory. Can the rookie provide some juice? See if you can get Dylan Gabriel going, whether it's out of the pocket, extending plays with his legs, whether it's running it with his legs, not just extending the play and like throwing it, actually running it. Also trying to find some receivers open down the field. Gabriel definitely provides some elements that Flacco doesn't. Can he get comfortable in this international game? I'm be interested to find out. And find the run game. The easiest way to help out your quarterback, your rookie quarterback making his first NFL start, run the ball well. That always helps out your quarterback, but especially in this circumstance, especially against a great defense with the Vikings, find the run game quickly and find it often. The Vikings forced turnovers by a young quarterback. 2 weeks ago, they showed how good they can be at forcing turnovers against Jake Browning. Can they maybe not that extreme, but can they do some level of that this week? Find that offensive rhythm early in the game. They didn't have rhythm at a lot of points yesterday. They have Jordan Addison back. He returned for their last game from suspension. You already have Justin Jefferson, and you have Adam Thielen, who's a nice possession wide receiver underneath. You have plenty of weapons in the pass game. I know you're a little bit banged up in the running back room right now, but still, you need to find some offensive rhythm. Because point number 3, don't wait until the fourth quarter. There's been a couple games already this season where the Vikings struggle offensively all game, and then in the fourth quarter, when the defense is probably really more relaxing, they finally turn it on. You can't wait for the fourth quarter to try and make your big comeback to win the game. They got to do that from the jump. Find that offensive rhythm, and don't wait so long until the fourth quarter to do so. I think the Vikings, while both of these defenses are really good, I think this could be low scoring because you have Carson Wentz against a rookie. But I think the Vikings are just a little bit better everywhere else. And for that reason, I'm going to pick the Vikings to win a close, low-scoring, ugly game. The Panthers and the Dolphins, Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, Miami, 1.5-point road favorites over the Panthers. 2 1-3 teams that have not looked very good in the first month of the season. Who wins this game? Gee, I don't know. Let's get into the keys. Keys to the game. Panthers need to get Bryce Young going. This Miami defense, while the secondary has been performing better, the pass defense has been performing a little bit better over the last couple weeks. It still is not a great defense. Maybe that can get Bryce Young jump-started and playing better. Because if Bryce Young is ever going to take the job, he's in year 3. It's time. Pressure to Tagovailoa. The more you pressure him, he's somebody that is getting the ball out really fast. I think some of his numbers about not getting sacked and hit or misleading because there's been plays. I mean, the Jets certainly had some free runners at times, and Tua just gets rid of it so quickly. But keep pressure on him, keep getting to him, keep making him feel you early, even if you're not getting sacked. It's going to make him throw the ball early, and then you get interceptions like you did against the Bills. So keep pressure on the quarterback if you're the Panthers, and continue to force turnovers. 2 weeks ago, that's how they beat the Falcons at home. They forced a whole bunch of turnovers. If they can force them again by getting to the quarterback, forcing some fumbles, right? Getting a sack fumble, forcing an interception, it makes life easier on your offense, and you can hold the ball. The other thing, run the ball well. The Panthers have a good running back stable. This Miami rush defense is really bad. Turn them over, run the ball, play keep away, and the game should be close, even if Miami is scoring on some of their possessions. For the Dolphins, continue to build on the momentum. You just beat the Jets, got your first win of the season. I think that relieves some of the pressure. I feel like Miami has been in a very negative media storm to start this season. Very, very loud around them. I think that pressure will get relieved a little bit because they did win. Tyreek Hill getting hurt doesn't help with that. But they won. Now they have some momentum. Continue to build on it. Continue to get better. Get stops without having to force turnovers. Thank goodness the Dolphins defense forced 3 turnovers against the Jets, at least if you're a Dolphins fan, because the defense still ain't getting a whole lot of stops. They're not getting beat over the top a whole lot on super big, super long pass plays, but My goodness, they can't stop the run. And then, even if they do force a third down, they're allowing a high conversion percentage because it's third and short because they can't stop the run. So even if you're not giving up 10 yards on third down, a 4-yard slant route or a 4-yard out route still gets the first. This defense has to figure out how to get off the field without forcing turnovers, get off the field on third down and force some punts because they're not doing it a lot. And then lastly, get the ball to your other playmakers and change scheme. They're not going to be able to be the same offense they were. Tyreek Hill is that important. They're going to have to, McDaniel's supposed to be an offensive mastermind. They're going to have to change the scheme for this team to be successful in the post Tyreek Hill world. And they're going to have to get the ball to the other playmakers. They have Achane, right? Look, absolute stud. Jalen Waddle, it's time for him to be the number one that some people believe he can be. Apparently Darren Waller is still a playmaker, right? Malik Washington does well when he gets the ball. So they're going to have to get the ball to some of their other playmakers, maybe even change the scheme, maybe going to more of a run first team, 2 tight ends, running back, fullback, right? Try more 22 personnel. Maybe that's an answer. Who do I think wins this game? I really think I have my heart telling me one thing and my brain telling me another. I really think the Panthers can win this game because their defense might be the best unit on the field, but then the Dolphins' best unit is their offense. But how are they going to look without Tyreek Hill? If Tyreek Hill was healthy, I'd take the Dolphins, no hesitation. This Dolphins team is supposed to be better. I'm worried that their defense can't stop anybody, but the Panthers' offense isn't that good either, right? So I think this is a close game. I almost want to pick the Panthers, but they don't really have that good of a home field advantage. I've been back and forth on this all day. This is literally a 50-50 toss-up, but I'm going to go with the Dolphins just because they're coming off of a win, and they have a more experienced quarterback maybe. And the Dolphins also are, in their minds, are still trying to get back into the playoff picture, and I think the Panthers are not. So I guess I'll pick the Dolphins, even though I don't love it. Another 1:00 game, 2 1-3 teams, 2 teams that won their division last year, top 5 game of the week. The total is under 40 points. Houston, 1.5-point favorites in Baltimore. Remember, folks, Lamar Jackson not expected to play this week. Let's get into the keys. If you're the Ravens, no reason not to feature Henry, right? You like to run the ball. You like to be physical. Lamar Jackson ain't there. You might as well see if you can get Derrick Henry going early. Maybe the Texans off defensive line, it is really good. Maybe they bring 8 in the box and it makes throwing the ball easier. But no reason not to feature Henry and be a run-first team with a backup quarterback. Find the pass rush. The pass rush for the Ravens isn't there. Last year, they were one of the best teams at getting to the quarterback, if not the best. Normally they are. For whatever reason, they can't figure it out this year. This Ravens team desperately needs to find their pass rush and show something on the defensive end. They're giving up so many points per game, so many yards per game. This Ravens defense is not anywhere close to where historically it normally is what you think of a Ravens defense. I know that they're banged up, but they have to show something on the defensive end, especially against an offense that struggled most of the season. If you're the Texans, run the ball. The Ravens, statistically speaking, have not been able to stop the run very well. Run the ball on them. Don't make CJ Stroud take unnecessary hits. Make their backup quarterback win the game. I was talking about how the Ravens have no reason not to feature Derrick Henry. Put 8 guys in the box. Make them throw the ball with Cooper Rush. I'd rather Cooper Rush have to beat me than Derrick Henry personally. Make the backup win the game. And then get the passing game clicking. Again, this Ravens defense hasn't been great, right? Sometimes you can use a good performance against a struggling team or a struggling unit to spark your team to make a run. Maybe this Texans offense can finally pass block for CJ Stroud. This passing offense can finally get going against a struggling team and a struggling defense on the backup with a backup quarterback. In a battle of 1-3 teams, this feels like it's a must-win for both teams as they were both in the playoffs last year, and that's the expectation. Ravens on the backup, though. I think I'm going to give this one to the Texans, although it might be a little bit closer than people think. I just think the Texans defense shuts down Baltimore's offense for the most part. Give me Houston. On to the Toilet Bowl game of the week. We had a couple options, but this is the only game where there's only one win combined between the two teams. 1-3 Giants versus the 0-4 Saints. Sunday at the Caesar Superdome. New Orleans is still a 1.5 favorite. Let's get into the keys to the game. The Saints take pressure off the defense. I feel like so many times this year they've been in close games largely because all the pressure's on the defense. They're not scoring a lot. The defense holds them, and eventually they can't hold them anymore. Score some points, take the pressure off the defense. Run the ball. The Saints have a top 10 rushing offense. Continue to run the ball. Continue to take time off the clock. But it has to end in a score to be worth it. And then use the loud home, not the load home crowd, the loud home crowd. It's a home game. Normally, the Superdome is pretty loud. Use it to your advantage, especially with against a quarterback making his second career start. Maybe the noise makes it hard on him to get the plays in, get them called, and to call audibles if he so chooses. Use that loud home crowd on defense, because this defense, while it's ranked in the middle of the pack, I think it's a little bit skewed because of how often they're on the field. I think the Saints defense can still be pretty good when they're playing complementary football. If you're the Giants, build on last week's success, right? You had a rookie quarterback win his first game, and his first start, I might add, against a quality playoff caliber opponent. Build on that success. Find the stuff that's working for you. Continue to expand on it. Take away the Saints' run game. If you take away the Saints' run game, that's what they want to do. They're a top 10 team in rushing. They don't have great quarterback play. Take away the run game, and it could get rough early for the Saints. And can you still rush the passer that well? I say that they got to Justin Herbert, even if it wasn't always sacks, that they made Justin Herbert feel his under pressure. Can you still rush the passer that well against a team that is healthy on the offensive line? And if you can, it could be another long day for the Saints. Who do I think is going to win this game? I've been on the Giants all week. They have more momentum coming in, but I think last minute I'm changing to the Saints, not just because they're favored, but I think they can smell that this is their best opportunity for a win so far this season. You don't want to stay winless. I think that the offense maybe moves the ball a little bit easier, which helps the defense out for the Saints. They played well against the Bills for most of the game in Buffalo, if not the entire game in Buffalo last week. The Giants and the Bills are not the same team. I like the Saints here to pick up their first win in a very, very narrow fashion. Sunday, 1 o'clock, a top 5 game of the week between the Eagles and the Broncos. Philadelphia favored by 3.5. Keys to the game if you're the Eagles: stay balanced on offense. Against a good defense, you can't just be throw, because then the pass rush pins their ears back and you get sacks, you get turnovers. You also can't be run. You have to stay balanced, running and passing, and I feel like the Eagles offense usually does a good job of both. Point 2, get A.J. Brown involved. He is a stud wide receiver with a rare blend of speed, power, and athleticism, and he only has one game where you've really got him going. You have to get A.J. Brown involved. I know you're playing a really good corner on the other side, but find ways to get A.J. Brown involved. A.J. Brown posted on Twitter or Instagram, whatever it was. He's starting to post on social media cryptic messages. That's usually not a good sign. Get A.J. Brown involved in the pass game. You're an idiot. You'd be an idiot not to. And then the defensive line, I think, has to get the pass rush. I think it's been in and out a little bit this year for the Eagles. They need to get the pass rush going this week and take away that pass game from Bo Nix, especially because Bo Nix is still a young quarterback who has shown a little bit of regression at points this year. Why not get to him and make him regress even more, right? And then if you're the Broncos, defense needs a big game. You know this Eagles offense can score. The defense needs to make a statement. I don't think their defense has played against many top offenses. This Broncos defense has a chance to make a statement, and they're going to need to. Offense needs to find advantages on offense, right? Or like against the Eagles defense. They need to find advantages, whether it's in the secondary, getting the ball to somebody like Courtland Sutton, who quietly is one of the most consistent producers in the entire league. Whether it's getting the running back in the passing game. I think this Eagles defense can be had, but I think it needs to be a different approach every week depending on what team is playing them. I don't think this Eagles defense is as rock solid as it was last year. Find where your mismatch is and take advantage of it. Use it. And then when they try and cover it up, they're probably leaving something else open and take advantage there. That's probably your key to beating this Eagles team. And stop the quarterback run game. You have a good defense. You should be able to, whether it's a spy, whether it's gap integrity, rushing the passer, stop the quarterback, Jalen Hurts, from running the ball. Jalen Hurts has proven he can do it. And I don't just mean the tush push. I mean, when you have 3rd and 12, don't just drop 8 back and rush 3 and then be like, oh, why did Jalen Hurts run for a first down? We dropped everybody back. Put a spy on him. Get on him. Don't let Jalen Hurts beat you with his legs. Who do I think win this game? I still think the Eagles are victorious here. Sunday, the Jets and the Cowboys, another battle between two not very good teams. Dallas is 2.5-point favorites on the road. Jets desperately seeking their first win of the season. Keys to the game, if you're the Jets, you cannot commit penalties. Every week it feels like they're committing penalties that kill themselves. They're committing penalties that shoot themselves in the foot. They have to play a clean game of football. On offense, continue to allow Fields to use his legs. You saw last week, it was either a 3rd and long or it was a 4th down. Justin Fields goes 40-something yards to the house. Continue to let Justin Fields use his legs. It makes your offense harder to stop. Let him do it. And you have to take away something on defense. I think this Jets defense is struggling more than it has in previous years. You can't let this Cowboys offense is number 1 in the NFL early on. You can't let them run the ball and pass the ball. I recommend trying to take away the passing game with George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, but that's easier said than done. But at least make them be one-dimensional. Don't let them have both, because then you're never going to get stops. If you're the Cowboys, stress the Jets defense. You have all those weapons. Your run game has looked good with both Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders. Stress the defense. Pretty self-explanatory. Your offensive line play has been pretty good. Continues to be good here. Keep Dak Prescott upright, and he's going to find the right area to go to with the ball. Keep Fields in the pocket. Yes, Fields can make some nice throws from the pocket, but I'd rather him be a pocket-only quarterback than running around, finding gaps using his legs. And the defense has to help the offense. Haven't been doing it a whole lot this year. They did it a little bit against the Eagles, but you can't. The Cowboys can't outscore everybody in the NFL 35-40-0, or you can't win shootouts. At some point, your defense has to help you out. And if the defense can help out the offense in this game, I think the Cowboys win this game. And I actually think they can win it handily if the defense shows up. If not, I think this Cowboys team is heading for another 32-35 shootout or something like that again. Who do I think win? I do think the Cowboys should win this game because they have the best unit on the field with their offense. Another 1 o'clock game, the Colts and the Raiders. Colts 6.5-point favorites at home. Not a lot to say with this one. Keys to the game if you're the Colts, continue to run the ball. Shut down Ashawn Jeanty. He got going last week, had 3 touchdowns, and forced turnovers. Geno Smith has had quite a few games where he turns the ball over a lot. If you shut down Jeanty and make Geno Smith have to beat you, you probably force some turnovers, and you can probably end this game pretty early because the Colts defense has been pretty good this year at forcing turnovers. And if you're the Raiders, keep Ashawn Jeanty hot. Keep Ashawn Jeanty running the ball well, scoring. Let him be in whatever stance he wants to. Just keep him going. Start finding Brock Bowers underneath again. I really like putting in a 22 package and running a lot of play action stuff with the Raiders, getting Bowers involved, finding a way. Bowers is such an elite tight end talent. You have to find ways to keep him involved. Had a great first week and has kind of been up and down since. And this pass defense has been really, really not up to par the last couple weeks. This pass defense needs to figure it out because while the Colts run the ball first, they can tear you up through the air, and if the Raiders aren't careful, it will happen to them. Top 5 game of the week, maybe the best game of the week, the Seahawks and the Buccaneers in a battle of 3-1 division leaders. Well, the Seahawks, I guess, are tied for the division lead. Seattle, 3.5-point favorites at home. Keys to the game. If you're Seattle, this offense for the Buccaneers is injured both at running back and at wide receiver. It's still pretty good, and they still have some weapons, but you need to stop a banged-up offense. It should help you. It should make it easier. You've had a great defense all year. You should be able to slow down this team. Pound it with Kenneth Walker. I do think at some point Sam Darnold is going to struggle, have a couple weeks of struggle or something. He's been playing really well so far. Get the run game going now while you can to make it easier on him, and maybe he doesn't have that struggle. But I do think if you rely on Sam Darnold too much, you will regret it. But as long as you keep Darnold and Jackson Smith and Jigba cooking, which is my third point, it can't ever get too bad because in JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba is so talented. If you're the Buccaneers, use your skill position depth. You have two great running backs behind Bucky Irving and Rachaad White and Chase Tucker, right? Continue to use that skill position depth. Yes, Mike Evans is out, but you still have Chris Godwin. You still have Emeka Egbuka, who already looks like a star. You still have McMillan out there. Use that skill position depth. You're going to need it against this good of a defense. Make Seattle run the ball. I don't think Seattle wants to run the ball. I don't think that they do it particularly well, at least on a consistent basis. Make Seattle run. Don't let them get it to their stud wide receiver. And when you get to the red zone against a good defense that might not give up a lot of points, you have to score touchdowns, not field goals. If you're only going to get 3 or 4 opportunities, you'd much rather have 24 points as opposed to 13. Score touchdowns in the red zone. Who do I think wins this game? I actually think the Bucs go into Seattle and upset the Seahawks this week. This is going to be one of my upset picks. Give me the Buccaneers. Another 4 o'clock Sunday game. Glendale, Arizona. Cardinals 7.5-point favorites over the Tennessee Titans. Keys to the game. If you are the Cardinals, your front seven, again, just like as last week, continue their dominance. This Cardinals front seven looks really good. And against a young team, against a young quarterback, continue that dominance. Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison looked like they got their rapport. They looked like they got going a little bit last week. Continue to have them find each other. I know the Cardinals have other weapons, but your number one weapon is Marvin Harrison Jr. If Murray and Marvin Harrison continue to have this good rapport, it'll only mean good things. And the Cardinals need to score. I don't feel like they have a super high scoring game yet. Make this Titans team have to score. This Titans offense really hasn't proved it's capable to go score for score with people. So continue to make it hard for them to do so and score a lot of points, and they probably can't keep up. If you're the Titans, it's the same thing every week for them. They're not getting a lot of stops. They need to rush the passer, and they just let Ward be great. Like, it's the same 3 things every week from them. I don't have a lot from this. Titans team is bad. It's bad for a reason. But Cam Ward is showing a lot of signs of potentially being a good quarterback. So if you're the Titans, just let him show it off and keep him upright. Who do I have winning this game? I don't think it's a big secret. I have the Cardinals winning. Another 4 o'clock Sunday game, a top 5 game of the week. The Chargers are hosting the Commanders as 2.5-point favorites. Keys to the game for the Chargers. Make life easier on this banged up offensive line. Don't make them have to sit there and pass block all game. Let them be aggressive and run block. Try and find some quick hitters. Just, if you have to, slide protection, make it easier on this offensive line so the backups, the new guys don't have to do as much. And maybe that helps keep Justin Herbert upright too. Make life easier on a banged up offensive line. Keep Hampton cooking. Best game of his young career for the rookie last week against the Giants. I still think this Chargers works best as a run first play action team. It's going to help with a banged up offensive line. Get Omarion Hampton the ball. Let him keep cooking like he did last week. And you have to make life hard on Jayden Daniels. Take away those receivers. Make him sit in the pocket and then slowly, maybe not as slowly, but collapse the pocket at once so he can't escape. Make life hard. And while he is playing this week, I wouldn't be 100% confident that he's 100% healthy. Probably going to be a little bit concerned about taking hits. So make him feel it. Keys to the game, number 1, keep your franchise quarterback healthy. He's already missed 2 games. Keep him healthy. This is a good team. It's a good defense. Block for him. Tell him to get down. Don't run him a whole lot if you can help it. I know he scrambles some, but no designed runs. Just keep him healthy. Rush Justin Herbert. This offensive line struggled all week last week against a not great team. What can the Commanders do? Rush Herbert, get in his face. He didn't look great last week. Turned the ball over a couple times. Can the Commanders do the same thing? and get the ball to playmakers in space and do it quickly. Again, similar to what I'm talking about with Herbert, if you can get the ball, the Commanders have plenty of playmakers, even with Austin Ekeler hurt. Both at the running back position, they have a great tight end, and they have some good wide receivers. Get the ball to your playmakers in space quickly. It'll help with keeping Jaden Daniels out of harm's way while you're working him back from injury. Who do I think wins this game? I think the Chargers will be a little bit embarrassed coming off of last week. Granted, both of these teams are coming off of losses. I just think that the Chargers are a little bit better team. They're a little bit more seasoned. Give me the Chargers to win this game. 4 o'clock in Cincinnati. Detroit on the road is 10.5-point favorites against Cincinnati. And it makes sense if you watch Cincinnati the last 2 weeks offensively with their backup quarterback. The strength of this team was never their defense. It was always Joe Burrow in that electric offense. And without Burrow, you really worry about this team. Let's get into it. The Bengals, for the second week in a row, burned last week's tape. Ugly game. Didn't look awful for them. Burn the tape after you thoroughly destroy yourself for it. Browning isn't Burrow, so call plays like it. You can't, I know that hypothetically you don't want to change your offense a whole lot. I think the Bengals are going to want to. It's just find something to get Browning to be successful because the last 2 weeks were awful. I know they're having trouble running the ball. That's one answer. They need to learn how to do that anyway. And I know that offensive line isn't that great either, but you have to do something to get Browning going. This is a guy that had good success backing up Burrow 2 years ago. You got to figure it out, even if it's changing strategy, changing the play calls. Yes, you have great wide receivers, but it doesn't mean anything if the quarterback can't throw an accurate ball and he doesn't have time to throw at all. And your defense is going to have to force turnovers. Listen, I don't think the Bengals are going to get a lot of stops against the Lions. It's a really good offense against a not great defense. Maybe they get a couple stops, but really the path to this defense is finding ways to create havoc and force turnovers. It'll help your offense out, and it prevents the Lions from scoring while giving you an advantage on your offensive end. I think turnovers are the best way for them to stop this Lions offense. I know you can't really scheme them, but that would be my recommendation. If you're the Lions, this defense is bad. Go and take advantage of a poor defense in the Bengals. Score a lot of points. You're certainly capable of it, and I don't think it's possible for them to take away all your weapons. Continue to make Browning struggle. Your defense is playing better as the year goes on. Browning has struggled the last 2 weeks in a starting role. Continue to make him struggle, and it probably will be an easier win and a bad day for the Bengals. And you can't have the game close late. Browning has proven he can go and win games late, even if they shouldn't be in it. Like he did that the first game he came in for Burrow. They're at home. If they need confidence after getting blown out 2 weeks in a row. If this game is close late, they're going to have the confidence. They're going to have the crowd behind them. Don't let it be close late because then you're going to find yourself in trouble. Who do I have winning this game? Obviously the Lions. Sunday Night Football from Orchard Park, New York. The Bills, 7.5-point favorites at home against a Patriots team that is looking pretty good and maybe has dreams of reaching the postseason. Again, before the season, I said not quite that good, a 7-9 win team. But with how many teams are off to a slow start in the AFC, anything could be possible. Let's get into the keys of the game. If you're the Bills, get Allen settled in early. That's always a good start. The Patriots defense this season was kind of struggling to stop the pass at first, but now they got Christian Gonzalez back there, healthier in the secondary. I think it should be better. If you're the Bills, get Josh Allen settled in and get him ready because this Patriots offense has been scoring points this season. Take away May's legs and playmaking ability. I think Drake May you can see he's growing with confidence every single week. He's using his legs more and more, getting rushing touchdowns, using his legs to extend plays in the passing game. Take away his legs and playmaking ability, make him beat you from the pocket. And easiest thing for the Bills to do, their rushing offense has been incredible this year. Continue to feed the ball to James Cook. And I think your offensive line should be able to block the Patriots. I think you will be okay if you feed James Cook. If you're the Patriots, Give May enough time in the pass game. You saw Tua when he just 2 weeks ago when he had time, he was able to kind of dice him up. May might already be better than Tua. I don't even know if that's a hot take anymore. So give May enough time in this pass game, especially because the Bills might be still missing two of their better defensive players in Matt Milano and Ed Oliver. So this Bills defense has been a little bit shaky without those guys. So give May time in the pass game when you do drop back. Take away Allen's first read. And I'm not saying Allen is a one-read quarterback. What I'm saying is they have Christian Gonzalez as an elite corner. He can take away whoever his matchup is. Whether you want to move him all over the field to take away the number one wide receiver or try and take away the wide side or take away one side or whatever it is, just use Christian Gonzalez to counter the pass game, and I think the Patriots have some great pass rushing pieces that can get home. And then stop the run game. You know the Bills this season have really been a run-first team, not a pass-first team. Take away the run game because that's what the Bills want to do. And I still don't think they have great weapons at wide receiver, even if they are involved. I still don't think their wide receiving core is necessarily the best in the NFL. Maybe Keon Coleman, but again, that's why you have Christian Gonzalez. Who wins this game? I think the Patriots keep it close at least for a little bit. I don't know if it will be close the whole way, but I do think the Bills come away victorious at home and get a stranglehold on this division, being 3-0, beating all of their division rivals once after this game, and having a 3-game lead in addition to beating all of your division rivals. Bills are off to a fast start, and I think it continues. Give me Buffalo. And the last game of the week, Monday Night Football from Jacksonville, Florida. When's the last time that's happened? I don't know. Chiefs coming into town as 3.5-point favorites. Keys to the game for the Jaguars. Use those elite edge rushers. This Chiefs offensive line has been getting shakier and shakier the last couple seasons. It's not great this year. They've lost some pieces there. Get to Patrick Mahomes. I know that he's very good at using his legs when he needs to. I still don't want him to have time. Use those elite edge rushers and see if you can get home to Patrick Mahomes early and often. Run the ball. This Chiefs defense, very good against the pass, not very good against the run. Trevor Lawrence hasn't been that great. He still has never been the guy he's been built to be. Still can be turnover friendly or turnover happy at some points. Run the ball. Take that completely out of the equation if you're Jacksonville. Take the time off the clock. You see a lot of games this season, in my opinion, where it's very long drives and there's only two or three drives per team per half because of how long it is. And if you can score in those drives, you're going to be in the game late. Run the ball, take time off the clock if you're Jacksonville, especially because of how good this pass defense is for Kansas City. And then win the turnover margin like last week. They forced plenty of turnovers, and that's probably the only reason why they won the game, and that's not me saying they're bad. You're good if you're forcing turnovers. But if this is also just as much about the offense, sometimes this offense can turn the ball over a lot. Trevor Lawrence can turn it over a lot. If they do that, they have no chance. So they're going to need to win the turnover margin just like they did last week. If you're the Chiefs, keep your offensive momentum. Last week they weren't playing a great defense, but that was the best they have looked all season on offense. Bottle up whatever that was. You have Xavier Worthy back. Bottle that up and continue to use that momentum because the Chiefs are going to need their offense. You can't win games without scoring points. Force Lawrence into mistakes on defense. I've already talked about multiple times. Lawrence can make mistakes at times. You have a good pass defense. Force Trevor Lawrence into mistakes and use those turnovers to get up early and own time of possession. And take away the Jaguars' run game. They have a pretty good stable of running backs. Don't let them take over the game, dominate time of possession, and things of the such. Who do I think wins this game? I think Kansas City wins this one. Here you go. I will mention I am still 4-0 on my locks of the week, so at least I'm really, really good at my locks. Who is my lock this week? I'm going to go with Detroit over Cincinnati for my lock of the week. A little bit risky picking a road team, but I just think that Bengals team is struggling so much with a backup quarterback. So for week 5, give me the Lions as my lock of the week. Your 4 teams on a bye week this week: the Chicago Bears, Atlanta Falcons, Pittsburgh Steelers, and Green Bay Packers, all having early week 5 buys. Everybody else is playing, obviously. Here is a summary of my pick. Everything should be the same as to what I already said in the episode, but here is a nice summary of it. We're crossing our fingers, guys. The goal is 12-2 this week, and try and claw back some of the ground I have lost early in this year. Let me know in the comments if you think if I'm calling back this week. Let me know what you think of these picks. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and listening. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Those are the things that help me the most as a creator. Let me know if you're enjoying the comment or the content. Put in the comments some other kinds of content you want to see. There is some new sports, or there are not new sports, but there's some sports coming with the month of October, which today is the first day of. This football season is flying by. I can't believe it's already October. Again, thank you for taking time out of your days, your weeks, and your lives for listening. I really appreciate it. Find a couch and watch some sports. A great college football slate. Some good NFL games this week. MLB baseball is here. So find a couch, get comfortable, enjoy yourselves. Take care of yourself. Take care of your friends. Take care of your family. Crazy world out there we live in. Peace out.